Hey guys, it's M, and it's time for a little update on Iceborne. This isn't going to be a super big update, this isn't going to be one of those main things. I really just want to talk about SWAXE, but I'm at Master Rank 3, I have fought some more of the group. We have fought, after Nightshade, Palumu, and Barryoth, we fought Brachydios, we fought Tigrex, we repelled Velkhana, and after that I've just kind of been grinding stuff out. So I don't have a ton of story progress to report, but I do have a lot of SWAXE progress to report. So like I said last time, World SWAXE was my least favorite SWAXE. It's overall just not the best with a lot of the stuff they ironed out later. Like Rise and Wilds, even if you don't like how actiony Rise is, or how fast Wilds is, there's a lot of stuff in this thing's moveset that they just worked on over time. There's a lot less downtime in the future games with these things. Like a lot of times you'll attack or you'll do elemental discharge and you can dodge out of these things earlier in Rise and Wilds than you can here. So I like the weapon. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. I really do love the zero-sum discharge and sticking onto the monsters and just landing that big old blast. But I was saying last time, it had a lot of problems. There were a lot of things I didn't understand. I didn't really love the clutch skill where you start up the discharge and then you can use your clutch claw out of it. That didn't really make any sense to me. Now I've studied slightly. I watched some speed runs of people playing World with a SWAXE and they had a very interesting, they revealed a lot of things to me. A lot of things I really didn't think of before and a lot of ways to use certain things that I just wasn't doing. So like I said, I guess we have to start with this. My biggest problem with zero-sum discharge and discharge in general in this game, and pretty much all of the Monster Hunters except Rise, is after you land it, your character does the, oh yeah, I know you felt that one. It's like, I don't need you to do all that. All this sliding shit, I don't need you to do that. And the speedrunners just were not suffering from that problem. They weren't doing the Gojo edit slide backwards. They were simply starting the discharge and then bouncing off the monster and going right back into the action. And that shit had me beside myself. I had to ask the speedrunner, who was still active, I don't know his name at the very moment, but I was like, how are you doing zero-sum and not being stunned for 3 years? That's crazy. That's impossible. That's so impressive. How are you doing that? And he goes, just don't hit the button so many times. I'm like, what? So basically, if you don't do the entire zero-sum, like the final part where your character falls backwards, if you do it just enough and then let go, your character just flops down. They don't do any special animation, they just fall off of the monster. It doesn't do as much damage, but given the amount of time you save not just being helpless and aura farming, it is very good. I believe the DPS is a good chunk better. And that really made the weapon flow so much better. Speedrunner also said he loves the World SWAXE more than the Wild SWAXE, and I don't know if I'm there yet, but I do see the vision. When you release this system where I can literally latch onto a monster and explode, pause, very massive pause on this, and explode all over whatever limb I've locked onto, that just feels cool. So to make that system completely obsolete in Wilds kinda sucks, especially since discharge can go into the full release spin, which I feel like is why it's there, but you have no reason to do that. Anyway, all that aside, what does this mean? My gameplay style got a lot more aggressive, and I really ended up enjoying the weapon. But what brought it down? These fucking monsters, brother. There's so many attacks in this game you will not notice makes their entire body a hitbox until you use this weapon. I was struggling to fight Brachydios and Legiana because they would do literally anything and it would hit them and knock me off of the monster. It was driving me insane. I had a 30-minute fight with Brachydios and it's because in the first like 5 minutes I could not hit him. This is a very big thing with SWAXE. Like I said, it is a very stiff, kind of clunky weapon that can get some massive payoffs. But in World especially, it is very hard to hit these Iceborne monsters. In base World, I don't think this would be a problem, but now that we're running into actual threats that have movement, oh yeah, it is very annoying to get them into a situation where I can just go, oh yes, and here's my zero-sum, without immediately eating shit. Brachydios, like I just said, he was pissing me off. He'd do that little sideways, I don't know, drive-by punch and then keep it moving. He would do that like 3 times and I was sitting there, okay, I guess I'll get 1 slash off, that's cool. It's going to be very interesting seeing how this goes moving forwards. I don't think this is going to be a problem for Velkhana. Velkhana is kind of a monster I'm just used to fighting. Also, Velkhana does not move as much as some of these other guys, but yeah, man. I mean, it's grim. The Tigrex fight really put it into perspective. You know that little nut-ass charge he does where he opens his mouth and then he just goes, ugh, and he just fucking, I don't know, growls across the ground 3 times? That was driving me insane. Because he has a full body tackle and then he has his full body charge. And guess what you cannot do in either of those things? Zero sum. And some people recommended just get the Rocksteady mantle. I literally can't. To get the Rocksteady mantle in this game, you have to hunt at least 3 tempered elder dragons, and then you have to be hunter rank 50. When I beat the game, I think they put you at like hunter rank 25, and now I'm about hunter rank 31 or something. So that's just not going to be an option on the table for quite a while. Kind of sucks, to be honest. I've been using the glider mantle. Glider mantle's been nice for getting openings because, you know, mounts are a free knockdown. It's been grim. A lot of you left some little helpful tips. Like, axe mode has better movement than sword mode. I didn't really process that. Like, yeah, like I understood that it was like that, but I didn't think about how much. But when fighting against the faster monsters, axe mode's movement does really help. The Rocksteady thing was a point that you guys made, and I'm definitely gonna keep it in mind. I just need to wait till I can actually use that thing. What else? I really thought, for a moment I was thinking, man, maybe I should switch to Charge Blade, but I don't want to do that. Charge Blade also doesn't have super great movement, but at least it has a shield. Switch Axe, I'm sure most people would tell you, is a very risky weapon. You don't really have anything to protect you. And when I say really, I just mean you don't. A lot of people will say it's a positioning weapon, and yeah, it has to be, because especially in World, you have no counters, you have no like perfect evade or whatever the thing is Dual Blades has in Wilds. You just kind of have to be in the right place at the right time. And with Iceborne aggression, that is very hard to do. I would love to beat all of Master Rank with the Switch Axe, but brother, that Brachydios fight really took a chunk of my soul out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess I also have to talk about my build. I've been taking a lot of damage, and it's because a lot of the monsters I fought at this point just do not have the perks I want. I want Evade Window and Evade Extender. I want those 2 things. Not a lot of creatures have those 2 things. I think the best I can get is if I can get Evade Window 5 pretty easily. Like Nargacuga has Evade. I think, not Lagiacrus, what's his name? Not Lagambi. Bro, what is that dumbass bat? Fuck it. Wow, I just fought him. What is his name? La 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 la. The nut-ass bat. I'll show him on screen. I don't know his name. He's crusty and I hate him because he just flies every 3 seconds. Anyway, his armor set. I do have options for Evade Window, but Evade Extender just seems to be the elusive stat because nothing has it for some reason. And I really would love to run both of those in tandem, but the damage I'm taking from these monsters, no sir, I do not like that shit. I do not like that at all. Because I've been running Kusula's arms and I think his feet, and I looked at the defense values. That thing said 60. I'm like, oh brother. For reference, if you don't remember, most armor sets in Master Rank give you about 120 or something like that. So having 60 armor on any of my pieces, shit hurts. I don't want to have to go back to the Lance just to farm out some stuff, but I might have to. Lance is a significantly safer weapon. Like, if I see an attack coming, I can just hide behind my shield, right? This isn't a shot at Lance players, but this is just kind of how it is, right? Lance is a very safe weapon. You have pretty much everything. Lance, I would say, is probably the perfect weapon, and that's why a lot of people think it's boring. It has counters. It has a shield. Literally is built for every situation, especially when you get guard up and you can block unblockable stuff. Switch Axe is the opposite. You have basically nothing. I don't want to keep sounding like I hate the Switch Axe, but like low key, if this weapon was designed any other way, if it wasn't a funny hydraulic explosive sword, I feel like the beef would be real. More real than it kind of is now. Because, man, I have no shield, no counter, no armor, like nothing. I get a funny little chunk of burst damage, and that's it. But I did just kind of want to talk about that. That's been my Switch Axe saga. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's some more tech. Maybe the speedrunner hitting the zero-sum discharge and then keeping it pushing. Maybe there's a little bit more going into this than I thought. So if you guys have any other advice, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Hey, this is Cut in M. I have to throw this in here because I was so focused on Zero Sum not being completely ass, I just straight up forgot about the next point I was going to make. The thing at the start where I said, I don't really understand the Switch Axe clutch ability. The Switch Axe clutch ability where you start discharge and then you can make the little claw come out and then you grab onto the monster. It is helpful, and I've really been able to put it to use now that I understand when to do it. Basically, the simple discharge gains a lot of the amped meter, right? So in the best case scenario, you want to do some sword attacks, and then when the bar is at about half, you want to begin discharge and then land the clutch. Then you can just do zero sum on the monster. It is helpful. I don't think it's crack, but it's a nice little way to keep latching onto the monster, I should say. Now, does that help it avoid any of the other problems I mentioned about sticking on the monsters and them having full body hitboxes almost every 3 seconds? No, but it's a nice little addition. I really don't know what else to say about it. It's a cool little thing that you can do. Does it make it better than the wild switch axe or the rise switch axe? No. I mean, it's still, I believe, the weakest variant out of the last 4 Monster Hunter games, but it does have its own unique stuff. After coming to all these realizations, it is a neat little weapon. I don't mean to say it like it's a cute little toy or something, but honestly, that's how it feels. It has little charming things that it can do that look really cool and feel really good to pull off, but at the end of the day, there's also like charge blade, lands, dual blades, all these other weapons that I think, don't skewer me, are a bit more efficient. But do we care about efficiency, or do we care about getting good with one of our favorite weapons? And honestly, I'm leaning more towards getting good with one of my favorite weapons. This is going to be a story arc, I already know. But anyway, I've been M, and I am out.